It was a blistering hot afternoon in late September in Gulf Shores, Alabama when my phone rang. It was my coworker, Fernando. I could hear the urgency in his voice when he said, "Hey, don't you have a lot of clothes in your car?" I said, "Well, yeah. I'm working about 3 hours from my house out of town right now, so I have pretty much everything that you could think of in that little car. Why? What's up?" His response was one of the funniest things that I had heard in a very long time. We were working for one of the largest disaster restoration companies on the Gulf Coast at the Beach Club condos in Gulf Shores after Hurricane Sally. It was OSHA regulated, and there was no food or drink to be had inside the building besides water. Earlier that day, Fernando had confiscated a fruit cup from one of the men on his crew. He put it in his pocket where he promptly forgot about it until he sat down at break time and it ruptured in his pocket. So then he called me. As discreetly as I could, I went to my car and found the most manly pair of khakis that I owned and smuggled them into the building under my arm, onto the elevator, to the floor that he was working at. As the doors slid open and I threw them to a fellow supervisor, I burst out laughing uncontrollably. By the time I got down the elevator and back to the tool room, and my coworkers noticed my state of hysterics and started questioning me, everybody's phone in the room went off. As the various chimes and bells and whistles and vibrations sounded throughout the room, people soon joined me in uncontrollable laughter as the picture came across our screens. Fernando was in full safety gear, all the way down to the earplugs, sans pants, in a full on Superman pose, holding the khakis that I had just brought him. Now, one of the reasons that I threw this party was to give back to such a caring man like Fernando. When one of his friend's stoves went out, he didn't question it, he didn't think about it. He went out and bought a new one and took it to him. Now, for a family with small children struggling to get by on a meager government pension, it meant the world to them. To Fernando, it was just the right thing to do. Another reason that Fernando brings happiness to the people around him is through his sense of humor. While it might be slightly risque and not always safe for work, it's guaranteed to put a smile on your face. I can guarantee that you should be careful drinking your drink while he's talking, though, because I've witnessed multiple people either spit out their drink or choke on it, depending on what he said. So, I could stand here all night and tell you story after story about this amazing man that would have you rolling on the ground, but we do have a party to get started. So, I would just like to wrap it up by saying that he is one of the most amazing, caring, giving men that you will ever have the pleasure of being a friend or a coworker with. So may the man, the myth, the Fernando live long and prosper. Cheers.